So a little bit of, I guess, context, or not even context, just a little update thingy. So basically, I'm gonna upload my trimester story video thingies from now on onto this channel. Well, I don't know, I think I should keep my real life stuff, like, on a separate channel. I don't know, just cause, seemed nice to do. But this is all my trimesters put into one video. So I haven't really been uploading to my channel that recently since, well, to be honest, I already said this, but I haven't been motivated to make content. And I've been trying to upload shorts. Now, I did originally say that I don't like shorts because, well, it's kind of like an easy way to get views. And I don't completely count them, but, I didn't make a nose. But I thought for today's video, I explained my first trimester of high school. Now, when I say trimester, that probably sounds different from you guys' high schools, but mine's a little bit different. I go by a trimester schedule, where, 90 days, and 90 more days, for like 3 months each or something like that. I don't know if I explained it right, but that's how my schedule goes. And yeah, I'm gonna speak about how my trimester, went, so I can actually have something to upload that's actually worth watching, most likely. So this happened on picture day of my school. Now, I'd say this is like the 11th week of school or 10th, somewhere around this. I'm not really sure which week, but I remember I seen my brother sitting downstairs. I don't know why he was sitting downstairs, and he pulled me aside. And what happened was basically, there's this group of kids that were talking about me. I didn't really know who they were, but all I knew is one of them was this one kid we'll just call N. And I was like fine with him. I didn't talk to him at all. All I really said was, highs, byes, and dap ups. That's really all. But apparently what he said, according to my brother and my other friend, we'll call her L, apparently they called me a faggot. Now, I don't know why they assumed this. Like, the only assumption would be that I'm quiet, but that really just depends on who I'm talking to. I talk a little bit more for my friends I actually talk to, but then if it's someone I don't like, then yeah, I don't talk to them. Another thing he said was that I was slow, which made zero sense since there's a kid in our class that's sorta slow. I'm not really sure how to explain him. And then another kid in my class that's just psychotic in the head. So, after learning about that, I was about to get my picture taken, but I did not like the photo at all. For one, it felt like I was just holding a fake smile, mainly because, well, A, I just learned bad information about me and rumors, so, that's not really good. And, well, I mean, that's really it. So, didn't like the photos, and yeah. And then, you had the second rumor that happened. So this one, I'm not really sure if you could call it one, but, I'm not really sure. But basically, I remember I liked this girl in my class, and I remember I was walking home with my cousins, and she said, oh yeah, people said that you weirded out R. We'll just call her R. Yeah. Except she didn't explain in what way I weirded her out since, well, I mean, I don't really do much. I just, like, talk to her. Really, the only thing I did was really just, go to, like, the side of her when she's in her locker. That's it. That's really it. But yeah, the next day, I confront her about it because, I just want to know if I did. I mean, she could be lying since I kind of have this reasoning that everybody lies. Or I just have the thinking capacity that everybody lies. But yeah, I asked her and she says no. And she says she was a little bit irritated about something else, but it was completely unrelated. So yeah, it was pretty weird that there's two rumors about me, of all people, but, I got through it and dealt with it. So, that happened. Okay, so then was the first day. The first day, I was pretty nervous. I mean, to be honest with you, I probably warmed up to everybody by like the third, maybe second week. But I remember in my classroom, I remember I heard the name Josiah. It sounded familiar at first, but I was like, nah, that can't be the same guy. Later on, I was into my math class. Still, this is the first day. And basically, teacher makes everybody introduce themselves, since it's the first day of high school and everybody's new to each other. Now, basically, I remember he said the name's Josiah, and I remember I hear his last name, and then I suddenly remember fourth grade, very vividly. Now, I remember in fourth grade, there was a kid named Josiah, and he had the last name as Josiah, or whatever. And I did not like him one bit. I remember when I transferred to a new school, he was in my classroom for only that year, but he was like just really annoying. He was basically a weird kid in class that nobody wanted to deal with. And, he just annoyed everybody. Except like not except, but he annoyed mostly the girls for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but it was very weird. And I remember afterwards, when we had our 10-minute break, I don't even know if those existed on the first day. I remember I was kind of overthinking. I have to deal with him for 4 more years, which kind of. I mean, it probably sounds like really rude of me, but he's pretty annoying. So, yeah. I also had a few other friends that are in my school, except they weren't, annoying. I actually liked them because they weren't annoying and they're actually interesting. So, that was good. Okay, so this will probably be the final part since I guess the year was very interesting. But I guess I only have about three, interesting actual things that happened, at least to me. So basically, earlier I spoke about a girl named R and how I weirded her out, but I didn't. And basically, I actually really liked her, except I learned that she didn't like me. So I'm gonna go over, that. So I remember the first day I seen her, I didn't realize she was in my Spanish class, but then next class in math, she was basically sitting across from me. I seen her, I was like, ooh, she's really nice. So then about a week later, on week two, I decided to actually, try talking to her because, I have to get somewhere. And then we did, and I remember a couple things she said to me. Other stuff I don't remember because it was noisy in the cafeteria. But I remember we shared, similar interests and stuff, like music and extreme sports. So, that was interesting. And then I'd say from week two to, we'll say 8, I guess. I'm not really sure when this happened. But there is a dance called the fall ball. And I decided to ask her since I don't really have a problem asking people stuff or people I like to stuff since it's not really that difficult since I try not to overthink it. And she gave, it was like a normal answer, but it sounded sort of bizarre, like out of context, I guess. Basically, I asked her, and she said okay to it instead of like yes or no. I don't know why, it's the smallest thing that annoys me, but yeah. And I remember a day before the dance, I was texting her, and she said she might not go. And she said, I might watch a movie with my friends. So I felt a little bit sad about that, but I still went to a dance since I didn't want to waste $10. So then, yeah, I was still talking to her a little bit. And I remember we had this Spanish field trip. I don't remember what week it was. We'll just say 7 or 9 again. Maybe even 10. Or no, not even 10. And basically, I remember she was going on that field trip too. So I thought I'd just talk to her the whole time so I could actually, get to know her even more, I guess. Now, when it comes to like confessing, I'm not terrible at it. It's just the timing of what happens. So basically, I didn't confess to her on that field trip. I remember she was talking a lot more on that field trip and stuff. Uh, and yeah, I thought it was fun. But I do remember in the fall ball, since I'm kind of going back and forth, I have a friend named C. Let's call him C. And he was friends with R for like a long time, like since childhood. And he tells me, oh yeah, she's already like dating someone. I was like, who? And he says T. I didn't really know who T was, but then like a day later, I learned who it was, and then I was like, him, because I said I never seen her talk to him like at all. But then yeah, I was kind of sad about that since well, to be honest, I was actually only really talking to her. Like when I like somebody, I don't talk to anybody else. Like I still talk to friends, but I don't have anyone else in mind. So yeah. But then later on, he was accused of being a cheater. So and texting like four other girls in school, which is weird. But yeah, actually, the thing being weirder is that she said it herself. But yeah, I remember on the 11th week, I thought it was finally time to tell her that I liked her. Since, well, we were in school for like 3 months at this point. And basically, I tell her, and she says, oh, I don't really like you. Well, she didn't really say it. Actually, yeah, she didn't say it. She just, like, kind of walked away and maybe giggled a little. So that was a little bad, but I want to stay determined. And if you're wondering what I mean by determined, I mean, I kind of, like, ran up to her after she ran away. I asked her, so you don't have feelings for me? And she shook her head, no. And then I said sorry for some reason. I don't really know why, but I'm really sorry for a lot of stuff. Even stuff that's very, very minor. And she said it was alright. But then I sort of made it worse where I asked her, like, again, like, maybe 3 different times. But I'll only count this one time since it happened recently. But I remember I asked her again, and she was like, just because I was nice to you doesn't mean I like you. And I was about to say that, well, I mean, all the girls are nice to me, but I don't assume they like me. But I didn't, because, well, I didn't think of it at the time, since I have this problem where, or not even problem, I have this tendency where I answer really quickly, but I don't really, think the text through that much. So then afterwards, I kind of have a big reason of why I liked her, and a big reason of, you know, a lot of other stuff. Actually, I had like a short paragraph of why, but I never told her it because, well, for one, we were already 11 weeks in, so she probably already made her choices of who she liked. And two, I think it would be a little bit cringy. So, I ended up not doing it. And I remember she said, I like someone else. And then I kind of learned who that was very quickly. It was T again. Except I thought he cheated, so, you know. And I remember she said, I've been talking to this guy since, I don't know, like, second week of school. Well, not second. I was talking to her. Okay, kind of messed up there. But she said she was talking to him since the last week of the first month of school. I was like, but we were talking since, like, the second week of school. And she said, just as friends. And I didn't really know how to answer it. And I said, oh, okay. Like, something. I said something. But I was confused. I was like, how else am I supposed to talk to you then? Since I wasn't really sure. And I remember it was just really, really confusing. I went through a few emotions. Most of them just being confusion, a little bit of sadness, and a little bit of anger. Because I got sidelined by the guy that was accused as a cheater. And the thing was, I'm a really nice person, so it's not like I have any bad qualities or something. Him, I just didn't really like him, and I didn't really see what she seen in him. I guess I don't know. Then afterwards, I'm kind of ranting to my friend about it, and we'll call her Jay. Yeah. She says you could do so much better in her since, she's kind of fake. Uh, and yeah. And I remember later on Snapchat, I posted one of those TikToks. The ones that are, I guess, corny. I'm not really sure I'll explain them. But basically, I remember I seen R post a story. It was basically, can you stop posting these stories? They're, kind of corny. Well, she didn't say a corny part. That's what the video said that she sent. But she did say, I literally just want to stay as friends. I wasn't tagged in the video, but I could still tell it was targeted towards me. And then my friend Jay said, you guys should, like, stop going back and forth with this, Snapchat stories. I slightly listened to her, but I still posted stories because, it's confusing. I mean, well, not confusing. It was just, why me? I'm not really sure how to explain it. And I also felt like I wasted we're in the nah. I wasted 3 months of talking to her, and she ended up not liking me. Since I remember my other friend said you should talk to other girls to have them in mind, but I didn't because, I don't know, in my head, it would feel like cheating, even though we were never dating, so, you know. And then I sort of completely avoided talking to her, even though we're in every single same class. But yeah, my first trimester, if you were to give it a rating from 1 to 10, I'll give it a 4.5. Okay, I'll give it a 4.5 because of that story, and then the rumors, and then old friends, I guess. Actually, just name it like students in the class in general, since there was some people I actually did not like at all. But I think I rambled on for like long enough. But yeah, that's how my first trimester of high school was. I'm most likely not gonna make how my second trimester was. I'm probably just gonna make how my ninth grade year was, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th, and then yeah. Okay, so for a video, I thought I'd just keep this like a running series. Well, at least every 3 months. Well, 3 and sort of 4. So, a few months ago, in December, I think, or January, I explained how my trimester went for my school, because I go to trimester school. But yeah, basically I just explained how it went, the ups and downs, and yada yada yada. That video was like 17 minutes long, but I later unlisted it, because, well, I kind of had a small fear that someone from school would see the video and made me think, hey, I think he's talking about me, even though I kind of hid their names. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably unlist it eventually, since, well, really, I think only 2, maybe 3 of my friends actually know my channel in real life, so it really wouldn't really matter. But I thought I'd explain my second trimester, which, well, this video might be short because, to be honest, it was really boring compared to the first one. Like, I don't know, not much happened, if that makes sense. So in my school, new people come in every, well, trimester. So basically, for our first 2 trimesters, new students could come, but after 10th grade, no more new students. So yeah, I had some new students. Okay, so one of them, they're named Fendi, but she like barely came to school. Here's the thing, I remember when I looked at the list of the new seats, I seen her name, I was like, who is that? But I didn't know who she was, because she only came twice. And I remember later on the Snapchat story, she asked to be friends with, I guess, people. I don't know. I don't really remember what she said exactly, but she only came for like 2 days, and that's all I remember about her. And then there's my friend Jewel, which I met him in my advisory event clubs, so yeah. And then I met, well, I guess I shouldn't name the names, but I named 2 people that aren't really relevant to me, and I didn't really say anything bad about them, so the other people, we'll call her Novia, but that's not her real name. But basically, I remember she came basically right at the end of January, and she started talking to me like a lot directly. I remember at first when I seen her, she was pretty cute, but I thought she was somebody else, but I was like, oh, no, that's a different person. So we started talking a lot, and then, well, yeah, eventually we started dating the next month, and, well, yeah, that's really, I guess I kind of fell off the new people section, but, I mean, I guess I'm still in the section. But yeah, I feel like I skipped over some parts. Like, I mean, I had new teachers, so I have a science teacher now, and really like her, because her voice is kind of annoying, and her class wasn't enjoyable. Like, okay, I like science itself, but I don't know, in her science class, I never liked it, still. Then the other person was Miss Wren, Mr. Strauss, and Mr. Lockery. So, they're pretty nice teachers. I mean, Miss Wren just sometimes annoys me because once she just, I don't know, she basically lectured me about my grades. Wasn't really good. Don't really know why, because I explained to her that my grade was slowly going up, but that was that. And then we had to find 2 teachers, being Miss Nichols. Oh yeah, my science teacher was Miss Fritz. I never actually said her name. But it was Miss Nichols and Mr. Schenk for career. They were pretty nice too. So really, Miss Fritz was probably the only one I really didn't like that much. But the rest I liked. And then, well yeah, those were my classes. But for a girl I was talking about, we were talking to each other for a long time, and she was probably the only person in school I was talking long with. But eventually, we started dating. But then we took a break about a week ago. Actually, 2 weeks ago by now. But it's because of something I did, technically. I mean, it wasn't really bad. I mean, in the sense that I'm gonna explain it, it doesn't really sound bad. But I guess if you knew more context, then I guess it's bad, in quotations. But yeah. But basically, I remember she told me about this other guy in my school. We'll call him T, because, well, I mean, if you watched the first video, you probably remember T. But I don't really like him at all. But it seems like everybody else liked him for some reason, or whatever reason. But I remember he liked her, but she didn't like him because, well, he was just strange. He said weird stuff to her. But eventually, she just stopped talking to him because he was just acting weird around her each and every time. So, yeah. I mean, I remember I told her what I didn't like about him, which it was kind of a lot of stuff, but I can't really explain in this video since I guess I make it long, even though this video is probably going to be short. But, yeah, so, I don't know. It was, I don't know, we were going good. And then she asked me one thing, which was to not tell people that we were together. Well, I mean, specifically it was because of privacy. And then the other reason was because of, she just wanted me to herself. Which, I mean, I guess it makes a little bit of sense if I say it out loud. But then, on the other hand, it kind of doesn't make sense. Because, well, I don't know. If we said no each time when people asked if we were together, then I'd probably maybe confuse them. Because we walk through the halls together. I sit at our lunch table a lot. And I'd probably talk to her the most. So, it would probably be seen as confusing. So, I kind of didn't listen to her at first. But basically, eventually, so to some people, I would say, I don't know, maybe. Because, well, I say that quite a lot to really any question. Usually in a sarcastic manner. But, because I'm usually a jokester around people. I joke around a lot. But eventually I started saying no and, shaking my head no. But I guess it was too late, maybe, because people started spreading rumors about us, which was bad. So Novia started hating me, which I felt bad for, because I didn't want her to hate me. I didn't want her to be disappointed in me that I didn't listen to her. Well, in quotations, didn't listen. But yeah, I didn't really tell her this, but I thought, why not just tell them we are? Because it just made a lot more sense if we told them that we were together, since, well, for one, people wouldn't ask questions about us, and for two, the rumors most likely won't have spread, even though that's a normal high school thing, but whatever. But yeah, so that happened. I mean, I kind of just went through the whole trimester, well, the personal trimester, but yeah, so, I mean, I guess there's that, and then I can't really name anything else that was interesting that happened, because, well, the trimester is just really boring. I mean, I remember I seen a fight between students, which was, I mean, kind of interesting, because one student just jumped the other, and then they just started fighting, and I got basically front row seating. And then there was clubs. So each trimester you have to pick a new club, like any other, well, actually schools change clubs every single year, not every semester or trimester. But I joined puzzles and, well, board games club. Now you're probably wondering, from my channel, why did I just join gaming club? Well, I think I tried to, but it was already filled up. I didn't really mind, because I just played Uno. It was with a few people. So you had Seamus, sometimes Famar, then there's Jaden, Micah, Joel, and that's probably it. And I play Uno. It'd be, I guess, good, since I'm gonna be honest with you, I have very bad luck when it comes to Uno, because I only won once out at times. And my rules for Uno are different from the white people rules, if you know what I'm talking about. Not in a racist way, well, not specifically racist, but eventually I was growing tired of just playing with them. Now it was kind of because of this. So my friend Micah, he's like very extremely lucky in Uno. So I was getting tired of that because I was getting very unlucky. Because I was getting 4 pluses thrown at me and 2 pluses. It was really annoying. But after that, there was Famar and Jaden. They just kept on teaming up, which is annoying. And then Seamus, which was the one that enforced the rules, which I never explained yet, he just, looked over everybody's cards, so, kind of ruined it. I mean, in one of the Uno games, there is a rule where you have to reveal your card, but we were playing normal Uno, not Uno No Mercy, which I'll get to eventually. But basically, I got tired of that group, because, well, the rules. So basically, one of the rules at home, when you don't have the correct card to match Uno, you have to keep on picking up till you actually, get a matching card. In the white people rules, you pick up one card and move to the next person, which I found it to be so weird. And then there's the other one. And then there's the final rule. So at home, when you get Uno, that just means you automatically win. But then it's different in school, or the white people rules. So basically, when you get Uno, you just call Uno, and then that's it. Well, I mean, you call Uno, and you still have to get the card out. So I found that a little bit unfair when I first won, and they said, oh, no, you still have to play. So, yeah, I got tired of that group. So eventually I moved to my friend's table, Romeo, since he has him, the Avery, Lauren, other person I can't remember a name too, and sometimes Famar. That's why I said sometimes, because he just switches between tables. And, I play Uno sometimes, but then eventually I get bored of normal Uno. So I bring Uno Flip, which, well, it's kind of a hectic game. But, you just flip the cards, you have skip everybody cards, 5+ cards, it's very fun. So yeah, I bring that. I remember another kid, Quinte, he questioned why I bring this diabolical game. And eventually, I get tired of Uno Flip too. Well, not tired of, but I had a few Unos I got. But eventually, I got Uno No Mercy, which only brung one time. So basically how No Mercy works, basically you have the normal cards, but you also have 4 pluses, 10 pluses, 2 pluses, 10 pluses, and 6 pluses with a reverse on them. So it gets really crazy out there. It was pretty fun to play, but yeah, that's how Board Games Club works. And with my friend Jaden, I had a little bit of a back and forth. He would basically call me a traitor because I switched tables. But then when I told my brother why, he was like, oh, I guess that's understandable. So, yeah. Now, I can't really think of anything else interesting that really happened this trimester because it was really lackluster compared to others. But, yeah. That was my whole trimester too. So, here we are. At the end of my 9th grade trimester, in the 3rd trimester of my 9th grade year. So for this video, I'm going to go over, like I did for the past 2 other videos, my 3rd, trimester experience in 9th grade, I guess. I don't know. So, don't really know where to start with this, because the trimester, it felt way faster than the first and the second one, so, I don't know. So for the school parts I'll talk about, there's not really much to talk about, like, at all. So for the school parts, I don't know, they're pretty easy. I mean, my new classes are a little bit weird, even though I only had technically 1 new class. All the other ones were just old ones from the other 2 trimesters. So what was this new class I was in? Well, it was called programming. And in programming, you had to program laptops, and that's an elective I had. And if you're in high school, you probably already know what electives are. I mean, you should. Basically, you get a choice to pick, certain classes. For me, there was 4. There was art, programming, music, and desktop publishing. Now, I'll let you take a wild guess on which one I picked. It was music. But I didn't get into it because, well, I don't even know why I got into it. or didn't get into it, because some people that did go into music, they didn't want it in the first place. So yeah, you know, that was a wasted opportunity. But yeah, that was the only interesting part about my classes, since all the others were nearly the same. The only real difference in my classes were that I don't think I explained this in my second trimester video, which I think I privated that or unlisted it, because usually after like a few weeks I unlist those videos, because I don't know what people from my school would think of the videos, but then at the same time, only like very few friends actually know my videos, which is actually only 2 people. So I mean, it can't really be that bad if I unlist them or they just stay up. But in the second trimester, one of my teachers left because his wife got a job somewhere, and basically decided, well, yeah, we'll just move down to, I don't remember where exactly it was, but he moved away. So he wasn't a teacher anymore, but he only taught here for like 3 to 4 years or 7 years, or I can't really remember how many years he taught, but yeah, I don't know, some people were sad, but then some people weren't, because he was a really quiet teacher. Oh yeah, you probably noticed I used the Sonic footage like in my past like 3 videos, I think, or maybe just I use it a little bit more. So the reason for that is because I had a Roblox clip I was using for my background footage, but I kind of deleted it and I can't get it back. The only way I could actually get it back is if I download one of my old videos again. So yeah, that's why I keep on playing the Sonic footage. The only other clips I have, they're very short clips and they wouldn't, you know, go as long as I want. But back to the school stuff. In third trimester, I had a teacher, a math teacher. We'll name her Dr. H. I don't know why we called her doctor, but that's what we called her. She was our math teacher for only first trimester. But then the third one, she left because she just didn't like the rules of the school, which, well, no one can really blame her. I mean, okay, let's take the bathroom rule, for example. You can only go to the bathroom well, you can only go once a week, or once a week for that class. So it's pretty weird. You can't go like, you know, like 2 times in that same week in that same class. It's a weird rule, so, you know, I can see why she left. And plus the dress code's pretty strict for a school. I mean, you have to tuck your shirts in or you'll have detention. But if you wear a sweater, then you can negate that rule. There's a lot of weird rules in the school that I might have explained in my past 2 trimester videos, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll talk about it in another separate video. But yeah, that's why she left. Some people were sad about it, but that was really it, because, well, she was kind of one of the nicest and most laid-back teachers, except she was a little bit too laid-back. So, yeah. And now there's on to students in the school. So there was a few interesting students in the school. So first, oh, okay, a little bit of a voice crack, but first, there was a lot of couples in the school, which isn't really a bad thing. Well, not really. It kind of depends, but it was kind of a weird phenomenon that was happening. I don't even know if I can use that word, but yeah, basically it's probably like after week 4, because I don't usually say what month it is. I like to say weeks, but after week 4, it was like everybody was just getting in a couple together. Then there's me. I wasn't, because I was doing it with someone else, sorta, which I'll get to them in a bit. But yeah, everybody's getting a couple. It was kind of crazy. In my friend group, actually, it was like majority of the table is in couples, at least by the end of the year. By the end of the year, it was like everybody was in couples. Like one day I was sitting at the table and I realized I was literally the only person, besides from my friend Matt, that was in a couple with somebody. So yeah, I found that to be crazy. Yeah, okay, to be honest, overall there wasn't really anything too interesting this trimester. Like, I guess the other thing about class, well, it isn't really a class, it's a club I'm in. Well, the club I was in was called Uno Club. And basically, I bring my own Unos to the club. So what were those Unos, you probably might be asking? Well, it was Uno Flip and Uno No Mercy. Now in the second trimester, I brung both of those games like only once. Actually no, I brung No Mercy twice, and then I brung Uno Flip at least 4 times. But that was last trimester. This trimester, I brung Flip like once, and then I brung Mercy at least over 7 times. Now, if you are an Uno player like me, and you know Uno No Mercy, you know that that game is hard, very very hard to play, and it kind of depends on luck a little bit. Well, no, a lot of it, since that's what I see Uno as, a luck game. And Uno Flip is, well, actually it's way more tame than Uno No Mercy. Kind of depends on which side you flip on, because maybe you had a 5+ on one side and then we flipped it and now you have a normal card that doesn't even match the deck. Now I brung those about, you know, like 7 times maybe, at least Uno No Mercy, but eventually I had my whole club group just tired of that game, which was also my friend group besides from like one other guy or 2 other guys. But yeah, they got tired of it because, well, if you play No Mercy, it takes a long time. If you're playing with like 2 or 3 people, I mean, it wouldn't really take that long, but we were playing with, there was like 12 of us, or 11, one of the two, and that deck is doubled, so everybody eventually, you know, got tired of that, and are tired of the long games, since the club, it only went up to 30 minutes, and then we went to lunch. The game took 30 minutes just with us, or at least 28 minutes if we're being realistic. So everybody got tired of it. And eventually, well, the club, it wasn't even Uno Club anymore. It was just the Club 2.0. That's also another club in my school. That's what it's called. But yeah, so I think I got through all of that. So I guess I gotta get through the one person I was talking about just a few minutes earlier. Now, last trimester video, aka the second one, I talked about somebody, I don't know if I said her name or not, so I'll just say her initial, or just her nickname, which was PJ. So I talked about her like a little bit. I talked about that she started talking to me first, and then eventually after a month we started dating, and then a month later she got angry at me because I told people that we were dating, and I think in that video I said I felt bad because I disappointed her. Now eventually, when I got into the 3rd trimester, in the middle of that break from 2nd and 3rd, since we get, you know, a little 2-week break, I was thinking about what I said, and I think about that video, even though I think I made that video like after I thought about this. I thought that I didn't really do anything bad, because I mean, if we're being realistic, I really didn't, since that's literally like the most normal thing that happens in a couple. People ask you if you're together, and then you probably say, yeah, and that's exactly what I did. I just said, yeah, but I said, don't tell anybody else, which, I mean, they're gonna tell other people anyway, but I don't get what the big deal is. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty suspicious. And it was a little bit weird. Sometimes I would talk to her and she would say she wanted, well, actually, I'm not really there yet, but, yeah, so I was a little confused about, that. It was weird that she was angry at me for that. But, you know, I was still talking to her, and she said she wanted to get back together with me. I said I like to too, but here's the thing, she was really untrustworthy, like, a lot. But I kept on thinking about that. I might have gotten off track here, but kept on thinking about how I was the disrespectful one, but just didn't make sense to me. But there was something I said to her like about like a month or 2 later that, okay, it's not a little bit controlling, but I'll get to that later. But each time I told my friends about it, they said, maybe you should move on. Or others said, well, actually no, yeah, that was exactly what they said. They said I should move on, but I don't know, I just didn't really feel like it. I mean, didn't really have much else to do. But I'll talk about her strange girlfriend, I guess. I don't know, this is a weird segment in the story. So I've had 4 different haters in the school, and one of them was her random girlfriend, in quotations, because they didn't even know if they were dating or not, or didn't even know when they started dating, so it was really weird. But here's what happened. There was a girl in my school named Jemiah. I didn't really talk to her. Actually, no, yeah, I didn't talk to her at all, because just didn't feel like it. She tried adding me once, but then I added her and then unadded her on Snapchat. Wow. But basically, she randomly said this, or PJ just randomly said this thing to me. She said that her and Jemiah were together. Now, in the 2nd trimester, I just keep on backtracking here, but in the 2nd trimester, she said, I kept on asking her, are you and another girl like together? And she said, just leave me alone. So okay, that's a weird answer, but whatever. And I walked away after that. But in the start of the third one, she said it was true. Now it was really weird because I said, "Is this a ruse to like get all the heat off of us?" Even though I really did not care about what anyone thought, because it was weird. Because I guess she had a negative thought about everybody thinking about us. Even though each time someone asked me, I was like, "Oh, maybe you're just curious." That's literally it. But then PJ seen it as like the worst thing in the world for whatever reason. But yeah. So alright, I guess I could start from the first week of the third one. I didn't really talk to her that much. Cause it was something my friend Taylor in Sahar, well, okay, actually no, it was just Sahar that said this really. But she said that PJ's dating Jemiah now. But she couldn't tell you because she's really mean. So I said, oh, okay. And then later on in technology, my technology class, which actually this is week 2, not 1, so sorry, but in week 2, I was like depressed in that class. My friend Jade see me, it felt really bad. But yeah, I didn't talk to Perfection like that week at all, I think. But then it was in like the third week. Stuff was getting, I mean, I guess a little bit crazy, but not totally. Basically, I decided to walk her out of school, like walk with her out of the school, PJ. And basically, Jemiah seen me with her, and she got really jealous over it, because I was just walking with her. That's literally it. So, yeah, she started crying over it, which is probably the stupidest thing to cry about, to be honest. Yeah, it didn't make much sense to me, because all I did was walk her out of the school, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna cry about that, I don't think you're really ready for a relationship if you have that much of big trust issues. But it was random. So then eventually I just walk away like 20 minutes later after waiting with Perfection. And it's about later on that night or later on that day. It was like, I don't know, like 10 o'clock or something. She does a whole dump on me. You know, sad, depressing, talkative dump. Like, not a trauma dump, but like a dump. I don't know how to explain it, but she basically like says a lot to me, or yeah, she goes on a rant. That's the word I'm looking for. She goes on a rant, and she just rants about a lot of stuff to me. And it just sounded really sad. I was like, I don't know if I should feel bad or yeah. In trimester, or not trimester, and also in week 2, something bad happened. She had a little incident that sent her to a hospital, so that made me feel really bad a little bit. So I had to ask my old friend R, if you remember. I think you might remember R. You probably don't. The videos didn't get many views, so I doubt anybody actually remembers those. But if you watched trimester 1, you remember I talked about a girl named R that I used to like, but I didn't really like her anymore. And plus, she like dates my best friend now, so happy for them. Because, well, now she's in my friend group, so that's cool, but I'm getting off track. Basically, I asked her, do you know what happened to PJ? And she says, oh yeah, she smoked the coffee, or I don't even know what she said. I'm just gonna say vape. She smoked the vape, and then she started like coughing profusely, or I said that wrong, but started coughing a lot. And then they were just in the hospital for it. It was a heart attack. That's what happened. So yeah, I felt really bad. But when she texted me, when I texted her first, "Are you okay?" She said that she was sorry, in like all caps. So yeah, she said she's sorry about that, and then I don't know, we talked like a little bit, but not very much, and that's that. And then in trimester 3. Well, okay, it's pretty boring, but I'm gonna skip to trimester 6. But before I skip to that, I should have mentioned actually the 3 other major haters I had in school. And it's funny because if you actually interact with me in real life, you'd see nothing hateable about me. So there wasn't really a clear reason to hate me, or not like a big one, except I'm gonna explain why they hate me. So there was this guy named Mouse that hated me apparently. I didn't really talk to him very much, so I don't know why, but I didn't talk to any of my haters that much, so whatever. But I think we're cool now. I can't really tell because I barely talked to that guy. Then there was Jemiah, but that's self-explanatory. Then there is this guy named Trayvon, which I really didn't like myself, like at all. Never liked him at the start of school year and still don't like him now. So yeah. And then there was a guy named James. I'm gonna get to him in a little bit because he's actually the main part of this week 6 story, or everything after that. But yeah, he hated me too. Now, why all of them hate me? Just take a wild guess. It was because I dated PJ. Yeah, that's literally the only reason why they hated me, which is a pretty stupid reason, but it was whatever. But now in week 6 or 5, I don't really know when this happened, but basically PJ randomly says to me that this one guy named James just suddenly has a crush on her. It was really random, but yeah. Basically, there wasn't really much I could say about this segment, I guess, even though it's like sort of a big segment. It's because of himself, but basically he's a really touchy guy. And she kept on saying to me, oh, you gotta be my knight and you gotta slay this, this dragon for me. And I was like, I can't really do much. I mean, I can. Like, what am I gonna do? Tell him stop? I already tried that. Actually, yeah, I did try that. So in week 4, I guess, or 5, I said, you're really touchy, James. So I'm gonna explain to you how this whole thing went down. This whole conversation. So I said, you're really touchy, James. You should really, like, respect our personal space. And then James said, what? And I said, you should respect our personal space. And then he just says, yeah, master. And I wanted to punch him so badly. But, didn't, because I didn't want to get suspended for like 14 days and 2 or 3 weeks. So I didn't. And then Perfection asked me if I'm mad at her, or PJ. I mean, I already said her name, so I might as well just say both of them. So how this thing goes down, she asked me, oh, are you mad at me? And I said a little bit, but I said a lot at James. And then she gets angry at me for being angry at her, because for the reason I gave. I said, oh, you should have pushed him away, because he was all touchy again and gave her a hug, and kind of weirded me out, or weird, like, actually everybody out, because literally everybody has said the same thing as me, that he's really touchy. So, yeah, I said that. And then she got angry at me for getting a little bit angry at her over something that wasn't in her control, which, I mean, it wasn't. She can't control how he moves, but, I mean, you could control, pushing him out the way. And then she said some random dumb thing that really made no sense, that, oh, he had me in a corner, and there wasn't even a corner. She was like pushed back behind the ledge, but guess what? The ledge had a left and right side you could just move to the sides from. So, really dumb statement, but, tried to be nice. I didn't say that because I'm like an overly nice person. Like, not in my facial expressions, I'm just like overly nice. I'm not really mean to anybody. I mean, I'm sarcastic, but I mean, my sarcasm is more of a comedic thing. But yeah, try not to be mean, but yeah, I was walking with her and their friends Taylor and Sahara, which I spoke about earlier, and she was just angry at me the whole time. So eventually I just walk away after Taylor and Sahara go to their bus stops, because I thought, oh, all this negative energy isn't good for me. So yeah. And then yeah, now at my school we get 10-minute breaks. I think I explained that in the past 2 videos, but not sure if I did. But in my 10-minute breaks, usually I'll just go to her class and attempt to talk to her, but she's always swarmed by a lot of people, because I guess she's really popular for whatever reason. But yeah, I was just talking to her. She said, hey, she make James jealous. And one time I gave her like some of my jewelry, because I have like a lot of jewelry. Some of it I rarely use, and then others I use a lot, which is the ones I never give away. But I gave her these new ones I had because I didn't think I was going to use them, except now that I think about it, I think I was going to use them actually, like a lot, for all my outfits now, for the summer. But I gave them to her. She said, oh, James took them. And I was like, oh yeah, and Caden. Because Caden was one of his friends, but I didn't really mind Caden because he was cool at least. He wasn't as weird as James. But yeah, so they took her jewelry, and I was like, oh, great. And then that's really that. And sometimes I sat at our lunch table, but she gave me this vibe that I did not belong there, which, well, actually, okay, to be honest, I didn't, because actually everybody at that table So there was a lot of people there. So one of them was a girl I didn't talk to. I didn't know her name, but I don't think she had a problem with me. But for her main friend group, there was Aaliyah, Taylor, Sahara, Lily, Jemiah, and I think that was it. A guy named Josiah used to sit there, but he doesn't usually sit there. But I didn't talk to anybody at that table, like not on the usual basis of my other friends. So yeah, I didn't really belong there, since it was pretty evident that I only sat there just to talk to PJ. But yeah, but sometimes I would sit there, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to my table. Now eventually, okay, so I think this is week 9 or 8, maybe even 10. I don't remember which week it was, but eventually I thought, you know, maybe I should be honest with her. Now usually I don't try to be mean when I'm honest, because that's usually what honesty comes off to be, like rude. But I thought, well, there's no other way I could be honest, so might as well just do it. So I sent her like 5 voice messages on Snapchat. There are things I thought and stuff, and things that just seemed logical to me. And she got angry at me for all this. And then I just started reasoning, and I started just giving explanations and explaining everything I said, because that's what I do for like everything I do. But she got angry at me for that, and yeah. Now one of the things she said was that I sounded controlling and manipulative and narcissistic. She didn't say I sounded narcissistic, but she said that I sounded really controlling and I only cared about myself, which kind of goes under the narcissistic, word. But now, what was this possible thing that the guy said that sounded so controlling? Well, one of the things I said a week prior was that, why don't you just choose somebody then? Because James was still on her tail, and I said, just choose somebody, which, I mean, that's literally the only logical answer. I mean, it's a pretty easy thing, but she said it's hard. No, I didn't question why she said it was hard, but I should have, maybe questioned that. But, yeah, I didn't question it, but I was like, okay. And then another thing she said was that, I don't even remember all the messages. Since there were voice messages, I can't really remember them too well. And plus I unfriended her, so it's not like I could look back at them. And even if I could, Snapchat just deletes messages. So, yeah. I guess one of the things she said that everything I said just comes back to me. It always comes back to JJ. And then there was something else she said, which was, I'm a pushover. VITCH. Now, I don't even know what that means. Search it up. Still didn't really know what a pushover was. I guess it's someone that's affected by other people easily, affected by what other people say. Which, I mean, the things that other people said, it just sounded more true than whatever she said. So, wouldn't call me a pushover. So, yeah, it didn't make much sense. And then, yeah, but everything she said was just negative about me for whatever reason. And in person, when we had talked to each other, she was always mean to me. And just she said, oh, it's just my way of showing my love, which kind of made sense, but then kind of didn't make sense. Or hitting me, playfully, since I did it first, and then she did it back. She said, oh, it's my way of touching you, because it's the only time I can. Even though she really could have, any other time, but whatever. Now, eventually, I sent my final messages, which is, I can't be your friend anymore. So the reason I said it was because she's just a really negative person. So that technically Crowner is actually my 5th hater in all the 9th grade students. So, whoop-de-doo. But I said, it's because you're too negative, you're always rude to me, and you're really untrustworthy. Except, I don't even think I said the untrustworthy part, because actually, there was a lot of stuff I didn't want to be her friend for, but I didn't say it because, I'm just trying to be nice, I guess. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, for all of that, people are very curious about me and her. I remember I was telling my friend Tierney, and she was kind of curious. So what are you in perfection? I was like, oh, I unfriended her. And she said, oh, you did? That's cool. And then my friend Tierney also said that another girl apparently liked me. But then I was questioning, what girl could possibly like me at the end of the trimester? Since this was week 10 at this point, or 11. Say, because my final week was 14, so there wasn't many weeks left. But basically, I can't say her name. Okay, actually I said a few people's names in this video, but I guess I won't say hers. But it was this one girl in my friend group. But I was questioning, why did she like me? Since actually, when my friend had told me the first time, I already knew it immediately when she gave me just one hint. It was, I think it was that, I think I asked her like, oh, is she, tall? And she said, oh, she's a little bit shorter than you, but then she was like, same height as me. I was like, oh, well, I knew that immediately. But then she said she, wears like colorful clothing usually, not really dark clothing. I was like, and there was one question I could have asked her, which would have made it real obvious. But one thing I know about her is that she reads books like a lot. And I think I already knew who it was. And my friend said that, oh, you're right, it is that girl. I was like, oh, woohoo. But she said it probably was only in trimester 2. And then, kind of immediately felt bad. Like, I don't know why I felt bad. I guess the reason I felt bad is because, well, one, if I never actually dated PJ, or even just interacted with her in the first place, or even friended her, then maybe her and the secret person that has a crush on me could have been together still. From, I don't know, whatever date it was. See, for trimester 2, it was from January to April, so, one of those months, we could have, actually started dating in that date instead of me dating with PJ, who never was, ready to date. It kind of just happened. That's the original reason why we broke up. I guess there's one fact I didn't, put in. But the fact I never put in was that her and James, they started dating. PJ and James, they started dating apparently. So there's a couple stuff I wanted to say to her. Because there's a lot of mean stuff I really could have said, but I held back because I wanted to be nice. But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be mean. But yeah, they eventually got together. And now I purely just hate her now. So yeah, that was my trimester 3 experience, which felt fast, even though this video was literally longer than the 2 other videos by like 30 minutes, which is crazy. But I doubt anybody's gonna watch this video. But if you made it this far, somehow, after all this yapping, that will probably land this video in the Japanese playlist. Thanks for watching, even though this is a long video. Actually, the longest video I made this year. And I might make an update video after this. I haven't made one in a long time, but on certain videos I have ideas for.